Well, Lorenzo has been and gone with a lot less damage than there could have been. This was a extremely strong storm in the Atlantic, but as it moved north towards Ireland, it transitioned into a post-tropical cyclone with the cooler waters, and then weakened dramatically just before it hit the shore. There was a bit of damage on the coast, but this far inland, the winds really didn't amount to much. Some of the plants in my gardens were blown around a bit, but the only real damage was that a few of the runner bean frames had been blown down in the winds. This unfortunately pulled a lot of the plants out by their roots, but given that it was so close to the end of the season already, it really doesn't matter so much. We tend to get a lot of storms here in Ireland, and occasionally we get the remnants of hurricanes, but usually this is after they've traveled up the eastern coast of North America and then passed across the Atlantic. But this is the second time in a few years that a really strong hurricane has started in a fairly unusual spot and then made its way much more directly towards Ireland, and both of these have been in October. In 2017, the remains of Hurricane Ophelia caused a lot more damage, including almost ripping off the plastic off of one of my new polytunnels. This hurricane had started in a highly unusual place and ended up becoming the strongest storm ever recorded this far east in the Atlantic before making its way almost directly to Ireland. The path of Lorenzo wasn't as far east as Ophelia was, but it was briefly a Category 5 hurricane, and it was much farther east than any other hurricane of this strength had ever been observed. Both of these storms were highly unusual, much stronger, and with a much more direct path towards Ireland. Thankfully, they passed over waters that were not warm enough to sustain hurricane strength, but still strong enough to cause serious damage. In 2017, I made another video about the possibility of a threshold being passed with these storms, especially as the waters in the Atlantic continue to get warmer. This was all about the possibility of a new type of storm developing, or perhaps storms behaving in very different ways, as we've seen with these two recent ones, in addition to the possibility of hurricanes becoming much stronger as the waters warm. These two storms in just a few years could be simply fluke occurrences that exist on the edge of what has always been possible, or they could be the sign of something new, of something that might become much more common, which is really a big concern of mine. Who knows what will happen in the future, but for now, these two storms have taught me the importance of developing really good windbreaks around my gardens, and have shown me when the structures and protections that I have put in place aren't good enough yet.